Hello there my YouTube friends and fans, welcome back to Elden Ring. I'm in the middle of doing Ronnie's quest and I got a lot done last night and I think I did way more than I was supposed to do, but I'm actually really glad that I did that, which is I defeated a boss that wasn't necessary to be defeated, but at this point I didn't know it. I did not know exactly what I exactly had to do in Nokron to complete Ronnie's quest, so I basically just did everything. So I'm on my way here to this hidden city, which is way down here in this crater, but I'm gonna skip ahead now. So I'm a little bit farther into the city here and I am desperately looking for a site of grace here so that if I die I don't have to always go way back to the lost grace, which I don't even remember what that was, but it can be very painful, as you know, when you die and you are being kicked so far back. So then I find those things that I found in the other well and I'm like, I already know I have to light those, but I really did not expect them to be here, or there's more of them here. So I'm like, well, I'm already here. I may as well just light them as I see them. I have no idea what that actually does, because I've done all 8 of them in the other place. So I light all of them, and basically there are 6 of them, and you can see kind of like where I find them. They're all kind of scattered around, trying to get away from those guys. And you find actually a bunch of good things here on the way, like this Ash of War, so it's totally worth it to spend a little bit of time here, even though there are some pesky things like those rats that can actually do a lot of damage to you. There is also a place that you can jump down to that's partially in the water, that has some good loot. And then all of a sudden I find the site of grace, which is totally hidden here behind a big rock, and that actually was the site of grace that I was supposed to come right away, because that leads me down, further down into the city, which at this point I didn't know. So I just keep looking around, finding more great things and lighting more of those torches here, not even actually knowing exactly how many there are or what they actually really do at the end. Oh yeah, and be careful, there's actually also this red fox here running around. I eventually defeated him, but you don't really actually get anything from him besides some runes, so I mean, if you can avoid him, avoid him. He's not necessarily worth it defeating. So then here I get to the 5th one. I have literally lost count at this point, and again I don't know how many there are. I am still just looking around, exploring, hoping for good loot. I see that there's another one behind this stage here, which is a little iffy because there's a lot of those big guys here, but they're actually not hard to take down when you can tackle them one by one. And shortly after there's actually a message that says, "Power gathers somewhere in horned remains." Of course I completely missed that because I was so busy getting away from those guys and I literally just didn't know what I was doing. I just tried to get some distance here and get back on my merry ways, trying to figure out what to do next. Soon after I actually see all those lights here and I'm like, oh wow, they're all lit, 6 of them. Maybe that has something to do with those torches that I just lit. Let's see what's at the back there. And I think like, uh-oh, I think that's a boss. Let me just get my ashes ready, just in case. That looks dangerous. And I'm like, oh god, what is it? Why is it not getting up? Why is it not fighting me? It doesn't even do anything. What is that? So I get off my horse to take a closer look and it says I can touch it. And I get transported into a cave, big cave with a big boss door. So I'm like, alright, I see, here we go. And there you go. Now when you enter this gate, you have to actually fight this big horned creature, which is just a big reindeer or whatever. And I have to say, this took me about 8 to 10 tries to finally defeat, because that guy can actually heal himself. And also, what I didn't know is that he disappears and then he just teleports into a different direction where he just heals up and you can't really do anything about it. And then also what I learned is that he throws some blue dust, which you can see shortly. That is very deadly if you're in the middle of it and don't get out fast enough. But actually, ideally, you shouldn't even get into it to begin with. And you can actually avoid his attacks. But I think what really made it hard here is that he has so many tricks up his sleeve. And you have to kind of learn about it. So here we go. Here's this blue stuff that I managed to stay out of. As long as you actually stay out of this blue dust or blue fog, you have a much better chance in surviving this. This is what literally always killed me, because it looks so innocent. It looks like something you can just walk through, but it is super deadly. And he literally was almost immune to any of the ashes that I tried, so I just gave up. I'm like, the ashes don't really do anything for me. They didn't really distract him. He killed them like instantly, all of them. So I'm like, I guess I have to do this on my own. And every time he goes down like this, I'm like, oh, I got him. Oh no, that's right. Look at his health bar. It's still really big. So this guy has a huge health bar and can heal himself. I don't know if he can heal himself more than once, but it is a big bummer because you do a lot of work to just get him there, and then he all of a sudden has his health almost full again, which is very disappointing. So actually, as you can see, my ashes that I'm using there, the pureed corpses, at this point are actually still alive, to my surprise. And I'm like, why? What are they doing? Where are they? Why are they not helping me? I have no idea where they are. I should probably lure this deer towards them, but I don't even know where they are. But I could really use their help. So I'm eventually going to try and find them, and this arena is just really, really big. And you don't want to spend a lot of time not paying attention to the deer running away, because he could just charge you so easily. And I am really, really glad that I have like about 10 potions here that I can use, which I think is highly recommended if you're not super awesome at boss fights like me. You just want to take them down. So here I go looking for my ashes. I'm like, where are they? They just literally are leaving me all alone in this boss fight. I have no clue even where the entrance is, because that's kind of where I left them. So I'm just ignoring the boss for a little while, hope that he doesn't stab me in the back, and go and find them. And here they are. They're just standing around, all bored, wandering back and forth. I'm like, alright, so let's go and see if we can get the boss over here and get him a little distracted, maybe. I have no clue why he didn't even kill them. He's kind of doing it now. And as you can see, he's just doing a tremendous amount of damage to the ashes in a very, very short time. But, you know, I'm thinking any little bit of damage helps me out. And he took them literally down in like seconds. I think I have like 1 left, 2 left, and they don't even do anything for me at all. So I definitely don't have the right ashes for this fight. So I just keep going on. I still have 4 potions left, and we're like past half now. And there he goes, he's teleporting himself again to the other side of the arena, and I'm worried that he's gonna heal himself, because that's what he did the first time around. He teleports and then he heals up. But he actually isn't at this point. So I'm like, oh, thank God. So just try to survive as good as you can. And this roll is super, super powerful. The only reason I didn't die is because my health bar was long enough. And then of course he teleports again to the other side of the arena, which is a little bit of a pain because you have to kind of catch up with him again. But he also a lot of times uses this opportunity to kind of do a roll attack, which I learned from. And if you roll just at the right time, actually, you are invincible for that particular moment where he actually rolls over you, and that worked out really, really well. So I am getting very optimistic at this point, but I also try to be patient because if you get greedy, you usually die. So I'm just trying to pay attention to his movements, and there he is. He's healing himself again just when I thought he's not doing it anymore. He just did it. He is back to a third of health now, which was super, super disappointing to me because I was like so happy. I'm like, oh my God, am I ever gonna get this guy down? But I am super surprised to see that I just knocked a ton of his health for some reason. And I am so optimistic now that I can do it. I'm getting a little impatient here, and he is healing himself again. But I also noticed that every time he is healing himself, he's not going back to where he was. He's just healing himself a little bit. So you do actually knock him down slowly but steady. It just takes a lot longer than you expect. And fortunately, I know now how to avoid getting killed when he does those rolls, but you still have to be super careful because there's not always a guarantee that that works. And I'm trying to get a little bit of distance from him at this point, just kind of heal up and kind of, you know, collect myself and see what he's up to next. And I'm also kind of reminding myself to be patient and not rush this, because this got me killed so many times before. I get very impatient. I want to just get this done. I'm like, this is totally worth it now. Come on, take your time. I also want to try to avoid that he's healing himself again, which he is actually doing right now. So I'm like, nope, come on, don't do that. And I'm so surprised that that actually knocked him down right away. I finally got him, and look at that. You're actually getting a remembrance for doing that. So this boss is definitely worth it. I hope that this video helped you to kind of see how to defeat this guy and not have to do what I did. Try like 8 to 10 times. Maybe you can do it the first time or the second time. But it was definitely a fun boss fight and a totally worth it boss fight. I am so happy. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And I hope to see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.